of God in Christ Jesus. However far it takes, we need to think about our obedience. One step at a time, we're trying to reach out ever unto heaven and back to God. When we have approached God with what we'll call T-Rex arms, if we're holding in to do His will through a loving and tender heart. We also find in verses 4 through 6 that a job well done depends upon faithfulness. So that original obedience needs to be coupled with this ongoing sense of I have a new identity and new character, and that's determining how I live. It reads, "And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brethren, as He promised them. Now therefore return and go to your tents and to the land of your possession, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you on the other side of the Jordan. But take careful heed to do the commandment and the law which Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all His ways, to keep His commandments, to hold fast to Him, and to serve Him with all your heart and with all your soul." So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. In Revelation 2 verse 10 it says, "Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life." We cannot really say that we've done a good job in Christianity until we've shown we're willing to be faithful throughout all of life in Christianity. Because that's what Christianity is, life. Faithfulness then is really knowing God's will. That's where it begins. It has to know God's will and respond with God's will in mind. In John chapter 8, verses 31 and 32, it says, "If you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Now you couple those together and you should notice something. It was an extent of the continuance of doing whatever God says. That's what means discipleship truly, the whole way of willingness to do whatever the Master says. But then he follows that with verse 32, that you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. And that is, there's more to come that you need to know, and you're going to have to continue in even more from this point forward. You don't always know from the very beginning what faithfulness will require of you in life. You certainly don't know everything you're going to have to change when you originally obey the gospel. You do not always know originally the kind of challenges that you're going to face, the adversity that you may find yourself in throughout time, the health situation you will have. You don't always know exactly how you're going to be treated. You don't know what the future holds. But that's why you need to be faithful regardless and let God, through His truth, tell you what you need to do. And to be committed into that, to working ever closer to Him. Because that's what faithfulness is. Faithfulness, though, requires the right motivation. As you look at how they were motivated and what brought them to do, it was very important that they were doing it because they saw what God wanted. They had their inheritance, and this was part of it, but they were going to do the right thing. And they were also going to do it for their brethren, the other Jews, the other Israelites. In Matthew 22, 37 through 40, it says that in answer to the question, what is the greatest commandment? And it's very simple. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. It says this is the first and the great commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two hang the law and the prophets. We can do a lot of things that on the surface are doing what God says. That on the surface do what is beneficial to